The year was 2002. I was a young man who had become detached from a tour group in the midst of the Australian outback. After a few hours, I started to succumb to dehydration. I was envisioning a plodding labor death in the heart of nowhere, but it didn't happen. It seemed like a mirage, but the moon spoke to me, looking upon me with ear-flung craters which felt more like eyes. The talking rock said that it could save me. And I followed a misty and moonlit trail across the arid landscape. And I eventually stumbled onto the town that I had been trying to find for the longest time. Later that night, in my hotel bed, the moon called to me. It offered 3 wishes. I rushed to the window, confused as to how my replenished body, and now fed and watered, could still be hallucinating. And yet, I somehow knew that it was real. I knew that the moon had saved me from the desert. What do I have to lose by making some wishes to find out? So, I wished for 3 things: money, safety, and health. The creature had many conditions, but I heeded warnings from every story that I'd ever been told about both benign and ghoulish genies. The moon made the parameters of its wish grantings quite clear. No wishing for more wishes, no wishing for more wish granters, no wishing for things to give other people, and no wishing for anything that would contradict the laws of our natural realm. The ideal wishes seemed obvious. 1. Money. More money than anyone could ever need. I mean, obviously I couldn't shower loved ones with wealth. I kept my job to support my family, but I used the riches to support my own needs. There's always a catch with wishing. Become the wealthiest man on earth will make me a target. When I realized that, I had the idea for my second wish. Safety. I wasn't asking for security beyond the laws of nature. I simply wanted assurance that my financial safety net, if it were ever discovered, would be protected. But what about security against the passage of time? I can't wish for immortality. I can employ the world's greatest doctors, of course, but that's not enough. And lastly, health. I specified to the moon that I was simply talking about safeguards which would abide by the laws of nature. For example, if I had a genetic productivity towards developing certain diseases, either physical or mental, perhaps the wish granter could provide a cure of some kind. Perhaps the moon could simply conjure a cure for every ailment that could ever face a human being. The rock conceded that, even if there were no current cure for certain illnesses, it could provide a solution for every health problem that might befall a human being. The moon can make me live forever, but it could ensure that I live an absurdly long amount of time. I thought that I had covered all my bases. I mean, I truly believed I had outsmarted some sort of deity. But I was a fool. I never should have made any wishes, but I certainly shouldn't have made the 3rd wish. 20 years after my Australian encounter, my wealthy and healthy life took a sour turn. The moon ensured that there would always be a cure in place for any ailment that I would face. It had abolished my mental illness thanks to a wondrous pill that I wasn't permitted to share with others. So this November, I wasn't even fazed when my doctor gave me a harrowing diagnosis. Congestive heart failure, the woman tentatively said. Not to worry, I thought. The wish granter will fix it. It gave me a pill for my mental well-being, and I'm sure it'll give me a new heart too. Perhaps it'll just grow one for me. I waited. Like a werewolf in the kennel, I howled at the unresponsive moon for attention. Nothing. And after weeks without solution, I started to feel consumed by dread. Has it forgotten about me? The wishes were supposed to apply for the rest of my life. And then one night, the moon arrived. It didn't speak from the sky this time, but it spoke from the darkness of my house. A floorboard groaned in the far corner of the living room. heart thumping rhythmically against my ribcage. I found myself staring into the depths of my lounge and darkened corner. Something was watching me. The direful creature I hadn't seen for 20 years. It had no eyes or discernible shape, but it had awful white lips, which glowed like a deformed moon in the night sky. Fear gripped me. It's you, I croaked.
I'm sorry, the creature wheezed. You don't have much time.
There's a waiting list for heart transplants, but I thought you'd have some means of speeding things up, I replied, trembling at the hidden thing in the corner of my room.
Yes, I must grant your desire, for it is my purpose, my only purpose.
The moon mouthed maliciously whispered.
Wish is a contract. I will find a heart for you.
Before the creature evaporated, its white and lifeless lips curled upwards in a malevolent grin. The most human expression filled me with a feeling of terror which cannot be sufficiently translated into words. Suddenly, I realized that the dread in my heart was more than dread. Oh, fuck. I thought as I clutched my heart. It's happening. An invisible blade twisted into my heart, and I felt my body seize. Blackness swallowed my surroundings. My vision faded, and just one more time, I remembered thinking,
let me see Wendy and Maisie one more time.
When I woke, I was in a hospital room. My chest felt light. It's the healthiest that I'd felt in weeks. Wendy was sitting at my bedside, tears flooding her vacant eyes, and a smile was forcefully planted on her pale face.
You're awake,
my wife whispered. I smiled.
Hello, sweetheart.
I must have given you quite a scare.
I feel much better now, though.
She sobbed and squeezed my hand with tremendous strength. There was love in that squeeze, but there was also rage. Inconsolable rage.
They did it, honey. They gave you... You...
She moaned like an animal.
You have a new heart.
Yeah, that explained the lightness in my chest, but it didn't explain the fear on my wife's face. Her agonized expression haunted me. Why is she so distraught? I wondered, shuddering.
Wendy,
I whispered.
What's...
Maisie, my wife interrupted, now bawling. This evening, she was in an accident. She didn't... Wendy didn't need to finish any of her sentences. I knew what had happened to our daughter. I knew whose heart was in my chest. And I knew what the moon had done to grant my wish. First story, and it's a tragedy. A moon trickster deity. Interesting. I'll write this one down for Rebecca. But that's probably going to be the last story that I do for the year. I want to thank all of you for spending 2024 with me. It's been a very up and down roller coaster in terms of consistency, but in terms of quality, I really think we stepped things up this year. I don't know, what do you guys think? This year was really good. I hope 2025 is almost nearly as good, and I'm excited to spend it with you guys. So thank you all for being here through the ups, through the downs, and yeah, let's hope that things can continue in this upward pattern, right guys? January is going to be a rough month because I'm going to college, but hey, I'm a gonna keep things active here. I've been doing this all through high school, so college should hopefully be no different, right? Well, we'll see. Anyway, I guess that's it. 2024 is over. I'm glad that I could spend a few more minutes with you guys. But that's all from Zabub. Until next year, guys. I'll see you all next time.